Faith, family, film. We are the family. Oh,
We are the family of.
Faith, family, film. We are the family. Oh,
We are the family of. Hello, everybody.
hello, you guys.
This is Marvin.
And Amber. And Liberty's upstairs reading. And we're with the family. Oh.
Coming to you guys today with another episode of the Family O audio experience. This is Amber and myself and Liberty's podcast. And we include Liberty because she's part of this.
That's
We're
right.
a package deal. So we're talking about this week's podcast and we're super duper excited. If you want to see the actual video and all of our shenanigans in person, be sure to check us out on youtube.com/TheFamilyOYoutube. And as always, if you are listening to this on iTunes or any other podcast platform, we really, really would appreciate it if you leave us a 5-star rating and share this podcast with someone that enjoys good, family-friendly, funny, faith-filled content.
Yeah, I love that, babe. F.
F this, F that. So what are we talking about today?
So, you guys, today we are talking about basically how we knew that we were for each other. We were the one for each other.
Yes. And so we're going to go in a couple different segments for this podcast. That way you kind of have a flow of where this podcast is going to go. We're going to talk about where we were, prior to meeting each other, where we became or what we became when we met each other, where we are now, 17 years in the game at this point, and where we want to be in the future. So I will get things started. That way, my babe I like to hear my babe say nice things about me. She says it all the time, but I love when she says it on camera. That way there's a record of it. But, for us, for those of you that don't know, we met each other in 2002. We've been married. It'll be 11 years this November.
Yeah.
And then we've been together total time, 17 years total. So nearly 2 decades together.
Yes,
Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy.
I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And, we didn't get to this point by accident. We are far from perfect. This is far from a perfect marriage. We're far from perfect individuals, but it's safe to say that we are perfect together and perfect for each other. And I truly, truly mean that. I say it all the time that, I find new ways to fall in love with babe. And it sounds kind of cliche, and it might give me some later this evening. But I'm sorry. I forgot we're recording.
It will.
But thank you, Lord. Yes, Lord. Thank you, Jesus. No, but I seriously, I'm just as attracted to my babe, as I am today as I was when we first met. And obviously the physical is a plus, but you got to make sure that mentally, that person is attractive to you. So, she does all that for me. I like to believe I'm all that for her.
Of course.
And so, but beyond that, we're really, really good friends. And, we don't agree on everything, but on the macro, we agree on everything, and on the micro we agree on most things. And I think that's the recipe for a successful relationship and a successful marriage, that you learn these things about each other, and you have non-negotiables. But on the areas that there can be a little bit of flexibility, there is a little bit of flexibility. So I want to talk about where we were. Prior to meeting my babe, I will say that I wasn't a Mac daddy. I wasn't a player. I dated a little bit. Not anything officially like boyfriend and girlfriend. I mean, prior to my babe, I just had one serious relationship.
And the same for me as well, prior to my babe.
And, it was one of those things for me personally that, I'm I'm more considered frugal now. But I was such a cheapskate that I wouldn't go out on dates because I wasn't finna have no girl talking about how cheap I am, because I was very, very frugal. And I still am to this day, but it was more so, you know, value. You know, I had to have somebody that I felt like was, and this isn't to make myself seem any kind of way, but that was worth my time, because even as a young buck, you know, I'm very focused, and I'm still like that to this day. So I don't like to waste my time, and I don't want to waste anybody else's time. And if things are gonna go in a certain direction, you know, then I'm kind of wanting to make sure that that baseline is there of someone that I want to occupy my time with on a consistent basis. And I didn't find that after, well, prior to meeting my babe and after my last serious relationship from that point. And for me, I was, you know, in a really bad place after my prior serious relationship. Just a lot of just stupidity, you know, that I allowed myself to go through, and I wasn't a perfect person in any stretch of the imagination, but I know I was a good dude. And, you know, sometimes people appreciate that, and sometimes they don't. And it happens for men more often than you might think. I know most of the perception of the world is that, you know, men are dolls and they're not trying to do nothing but lay with as many as they could. I didn't want that kind of body. I didn't want a body count personally. Just because I was terrified of diseases and getting the wrong person pregnant, and just a hot bubbly mess. So for me, and I came from a strong, you know, 2-parent household. Yeah. At the time, my parents aren't together anymore, but at the time I didn't want to bring no nonsense to my mama. That's how I feel. I love my parents, and I didn't want to quote unquote disappoint them in any kind of way. Not that we, you know, our parents aren't perfect people anyway, but that's just how you know, I was raised. And so prior to meeting my babe, I was open to the concept of love and all that stuff. You know, I told babe, I'm going to say this on this podcast, but I said, you know, at the time, this was early 2002, so, you know, Music Soul Child and all of the neo soul movement was really, really big. So I was like, man, I'm finna find me a natural. I'm finna find me, you know, some dreadlock, natural, you know, just someone that lights incense and has body oil and pretty earrings and head wraps. Look, head wrap if you're watching on YouTube. But that's what I was looking for, because I just wanted to get back to the essence. And I felt like someone of that kind of consciousness, that's kind of where I was going mentally in life. And so that's what I was looking for. So that's where I was. Where were you?
Well, very similar to my babe. Yeah. I had been in one prior serious relationship. You know, I had dated and all that, but as far as like a boyfriend, it was just really one. Okay. And, you know, I basically, you know, had these deep feelings for this guy, but I knew that he clearly was not the one that God had intended for me. All right. Clearly. The main thing, you guys, was that we were not equally yoked. Wow. And when I met him...
Now, when you say that, what do you mean? Was he I know, but I want the audience to know.
Well, I was a Christian, and he was not. He was a part of another organization I'm not going to mention because I don't want to put too much out there, but he was a part of something else that was not a Christian. Right. And I thought he was, though, based on some of the language that was used prior to meeting. So I just honestly assumed that he was a Christian until, you know, we started talking more, started having conversations and things like that. Yeah. And then I realized, wait a minute, it's something different. And then, you know, I started to really kind of fall for this guy. Okay. And so then it got sticky because I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm like developing feelings for him. And so I just remember praying.
Don't worry, I was gonna come save you in a few years. Just hold on tight.
Look, and he really is so, like, I'm gonna get to that point, but it's really crazy how things happen. But I just remember thinking, like, Lord, like, I need you to get me out of this situation, because I knew it wasn't right. Wow. And I was like, you know, I want to walk away, but at the time, you know, I wasn't very confrontational, and I didn't know if, like, you know, he would be crazy. I just didn't know, you know, what was going on. But eventually God gave me the strength to be able to move on through, many of you guys may or may not know, but I love to sing. And
she does our intro, guys, and she does a fantastic
job.
We
all do the intro, babe.
Mixtape coming soon.
And I write. I don't write as much as I used to, but I used to write a lot.
I am trying to encourage her to get back writing because she is phenomenal.
Thank you, sweetie. But I'll never forget God used my gift of writing as a way to get me out of this situation. Maybe one day we'll talk about that, but I'm not going to go into all that now. And I remember I got out of the situation.
Wow.
But then, y'all, some months passed. I missed you. Oh, I miss you. Situation came about. And I got myself back in the situation again.
That happens.
Yeah. And so I was very prayerful, like, okay, this guy can change. But I feel like I was putting my energy toward the wrong thing, you know. Maybe, you know, we're not together. And, you know, if you come and you've changed your life or whatever, then it could be something. But I knew it wasn't anything. And then, you know, just looking at other things surrounding the situation, I was like, you know what? Yeah. One day I had this prayer, and my prayer was, Lord, let your will be done. Not my will, but your will.
Wow.
And shortly after that, I was actually going to be moving to Houston, you guys. And what was funny is that my friend at the time, which is Marvin's cousin, which is now our cousin since we're married, knew I was moving to Houston and was like, you know, oh, my cousin would be really cool. I think we've told the story before. You guys can hang out, blah, blah, blah. Y'all could be friends.
She told me something completely different. She said, Marvin, let me tell you, I got this friend and she's this and she's the color of the sun and all this. I said, And she has a head wrap and I was like, whoa, thank you, Lord. That's what I'm looking for. You answering prayers. So
yes, and that's kind of how we like met, talking on the phone.
Yeah. It was very, very serendipitous.
Yeah.
So that's where
we were before we met each other, leading up to meeting each other.
So where we became when we met each other, I think that, you know, the thing about, you know, Marvin and Amber is that, you know, we are, and many people have said very nice things on our YouTube comments and whatnot about how we communicate with each other. And we started on the phone. We didn't do, you know, we didn't meet each other for a little while. We just talked on the phone. And Babe was good with that. But for me, again, going back to my original statement about not wasting my time, you know, if you look like Booger Wolf, unfortunately, we can be good friends on the phone. But, you know, I didn't want to waste too much of my time and my effort without, you know, seeing what you were working with. So, you know, we started as conversationalists, and that's where we are to this day. Yes. And that's been the, you know, the underlying blessing of meeting each other is that we talk
about everything.
And so, you know, that was where we were, but we were still young, and we were still working through obviously the traumas of past relationships, working through the traumas of what our perception of, you know, a boyfriend and girlfriend should be. And then, of course, we were still, you know, college and dealing with all that stuff. And I was a part of, you know, like party promoting and stuff like that. And Babe would be there with me. And so, you know, it was just, you know, a lot. We were still in the world, even though we were not of the world. But we were like, okay, you know, we're serious, and we're gonna see where this thing goes. And you know, it got to a point, and it's so weird how time moves so quickly, because I blinked and we were together a year. I blinked again, we were together, you know, 3 years. Yeah. And I blinked again, we were like 5 or 6 years. And, you know, we went through college together. You know, we held each other, we put each other on each other's back.
We did.
You know, as it relates to, you know, getting through our degree. And we actually, many people are like, oh, that's so cute. But we actually graduated the exact same day.
We did.
And that was not by design, because my babe was going to graduate on time. But me, I was humping and hustling, and I didn't believe that I could do it until Babe was like, you know, I'll help you where I can. And she's still like that to this day. Might not have no knowledge of the thing I'm working on or the project if it's related to work, but she's like, well, babe, what can I help you with? You know, blah, blah, blah. So that is where, you know, what we became. And again, I just want to say having good communication and conversation was a big thing for me. What about you?
Oh my goodness, my baby's literally about to make me cry because just having these conversations, just taking me back to where God has brought us from. Like, we've been together a really long time. When we met, we were 20 and 21. But I have to agree with Babe. Like, I thought it was so awesome that we talked on the phone for a week before we met.
Yeah, if it had 7 days. Yeah. I want to see what you're working.
If it had been up to me, y'all, it would have been at least a month.
Why?
But I remember because...
Why would you want to waste your time if I look like, just a rundown sucker? Why would you want to waste your time?
Well, this is the thing. Keep in mind what we said about our cousin. He had one message. I had another message. So
okay, so you went into it saying, I'll just have a good homeboy.
A good homeboy.
And you're a dater and all that stuff.
But at the same time, she did say like, but maybe if you guys kind of, she kind of slid that under the table. So I kind of had an ideal as well, that like, you know what, maybe this could be something possibly. And so I was nervous. I was very nervous.
So that's what it was.
Yes, I was super nervous. Okay. And, I think when I talked with him, I know when I talked to him on the phone, I was like, wow, like I love having a conversation with this guy. Yeah. Like, this is so awesome. Like, the conversation was just enriching, and we were just talking about different subjects and different likes and goals. Y'all, this is all in like a week. And
that's
also,
what you do with me. I'm gonna stimulate your mind.
And also,
anyway,
sorry, babe.
But yeah.
And then also, y'all, the cool thing about it was that he was very upfront. Like, he really wasn't playing any games, because right up front he had even met me. Did you see a picture of me first?
No, I had not.
Okay. Oh, that's right. Because when we met, okay,
there was no social media. I think MySpace existed.
Okay, so you know what? No, I think it must have been like right after we met. I really don't remember, but he had given me like all of his information, like cell phone, work number, email, home number. Like, he was very, very forthcoming. Yeah, like and to be honest with you, I had dated, after the point of the last relationship, and had been around guys that, like, they had cell number and phone would be ringing, they wouldn't be picking it up. It was just all that kind of sneaky stuff, and which was obviously red flags that you knew, okay, let me not go anywhere with this situation. But with my babe, it was like completely different and something very fresh and new.
You're welcome. I mean, I wanted you to be able to reach me. I mean, if anything went down, I wanted you to be able to reach me. So, like I said, I had gotten my player ways out of my system before meeting you. I wasn't, I didn't have a little black book somewhere. So I had nothing. I'm like, I ain't dating I'm seriously not dating anybody. So here's my number. There's no, up in the air, like, going back to another relationship kind of thing. I was single, completely single. So it wasn't a big deal at all for me. But, it still was something that, I felt like you were worth, being able to reach me in any way, shape, form, or fashion. That's how I felt. There wasn't no social media back then. No. All it was cell phone, home phone.
Yeah.
And I think email.
MySpace was maybe at that time. Yeah, Black Planet. I forgot about that. Yeah. So, Black Planet, yeah.
But, that was, what we became. We were just kind of learning each other, learning what love, means. Like, how do you truly fall in love with a person beyond the lust, beyond the you so exactly. It was, we see that to this day. And I'm like, we were just a sidebar. We were in a train in New York.
Oh yeah.
And there was this couple, and you could just tell they were like knew. I mean, they were just all over each other. Didn't even care that our daughter was right there, and just kissing on each other. It was just a high above.
And not like a normal, like a kiss like this.
Not like that.
Not like that. It was. Y'all see how I snuck that in? But it was like all the tongue and everything, and we were just like, oh my goodness.
That's that lust. Yeah. That's what that is.
And we couldn't move because they were right there in front of us on the train. We couldn't go anywhere.
But we moved past that. I mean, when you're 17 years in, I mean, obviously when she still walks by, I still be like, God dang, ooh, that thing is moving. I do say that often.
He really does, y'all, and got the baby saying that too.
Yeah, but she doesn't know what that
what
means.
He's talking about.
It's code, so Libby doesn't know. But you know, that is the physical is still there, and obviously we take care of ourselves, obviously, because you know when you love each other for whatever. I love you if you gain a little and all that stuff, but you know we still believe in taking care of ourselves. You still, you know, put nice perfume on, and when we go on our date nights, you still, you know, dress very nice. You don't just throw a shirt and some shorts. Let's go. We do that sometimes, but you know we still get dressed for each other, which
keep
I think
the romance
is super big, and that leads us into where we are now as a married couple, as parents. You know, we are still super duper big on our date nights, and we believe, and this is nobody can debate us on this, that we are the creators of Date Night Fridays. If you're on Instagram, go to hashtag Date Night Fridays, and you will see pretty much every single date night that we've been on since we got on Instagram.
Yeah.
And this is another excuse to tell you, follow us on Instagram at _family_ the letter O. But we do our date nights every single Friday. That we're, you know, if we're not sick or super duper tired. Or out of town. And at least 99.9% of the time, we have a date night. And why is that very, very important?
I mean, it's very important because it just reminds you that you need to spend time with each other. You need to set aside time where you're like, you know what, we're going to go do something fun. We're going to go do something that's different. We're going to go do something that will make us laugh, something where we can get full. You know, we've been doing it prior to being married, like, I don't know, like maybe since year 3, year 2 or 3.
I forgot.
So, y'all, we've been together so long, but it was early on. And what was funny is that we always would go out every single week anyway, but we just started calling it like Date Night Fridays at like year 2 or 3 or something. And everybody in our family knows, they already know, okay, Friday, I know we got date night. And we did it prior to having Liberty. And, you know, when we had Liberty, you know, we were like, you know, we're going to keep this thing going. We're not going to stop because we don't have a babysitter. We don't have family, you know, that is responsible or that we trust in order to watch her. We're just going to bring her with us and go anyway.
I mean, we, you know, and this is no knock to anybody that does it, but we don't do kid freeze. We don't do any of that. We like having her around us, and she likes being around us. And obviously being an only child, you know, you want to make sure that you're keeping your kids around you. So we just call it family night. I mean, it's date night, but it's family night. And at the end of the day, we were not going to allow being parents to change, but again, and this is how we operate. Everyone's different, and no knock, but we want to keep our daughter around us as often as possible. Just because any experience that we have that we really think is a great experience, we want her to be there. We want her to enjoy that.
Enjoy it as well. Exactly. And then we always talk about how, you know, we obviously have our time alone, you know, like when we're at home, you know, we put her to bed early, and then we're able to enjoy those one-on-one times. They're not just related with physical activity, but if we want to, like... we want to watch a show together or eat a meal. Eat a meal together. We do things like that because, y'all, we had a lot of time with it being just us before we had her. And before we had her, we talked about this already. It wasn't anything that came up and we were like, oh, Lord, what are we going to do about that? It's funny because we actually entertained like a type of service. It was a service at the time in Texas. That we had saw, and we entertained like, oh, maybe sometime we'll use this to go out and stuff like that. But y'all, as soon as we had our daughter, it completely changed, and we were just like, it was. Remember it was a I can't even think of the. Why are you gonna put me on the spot, babe? Because I can't think of the name of it. It was the one where basically they've already vetted different sitters and stuff. Remember that one? I can't remember the name of it. But I remember. But we saw it's like a flyer we got or something, and we were like, okay. But then we just didn't want to have her with other people, you know. And the thing about it is that we can remember when Liberty was just born. This girl is 6. She's about to be 7.
She's already grown. She's going to be out of this house.
So before we know it, she's going to be gone. She's going to be gone. And she's going to be of the age where we will be able to go back to those times where it's alone. But one thing that our daughter will never say is that we were not around her, and we were always doing this and doing that without her. We didn't make her a priority. Yeah. And so that's just how we view it. Right. And we don't want to fall victim to kind of what the world says you should do. The world says, you have to have time. You got to have
your girl time.
Yeah, you got to have your men time. You got to... Yeah,
that's up to you.
Exactly. You have to, no kids. It just got to be you and your spouse. Well, of course, you make those times where it's just you and your spouse, but that doesn't have to mean going out or going on vacation. Like, we would never go on vacation and leave Liberty with someone. I mean, to me, that is bizarre. Like, I couldn't even imagine. Yeah. But that's just how we choose to do it. Yeah, that's just how we are. And what's funny is that we just had one, but we had plans to have more than one. Right. And we would have taken that, if we had decided to do that. Yeah, we would have done the same thing. And these are things, once again, going back to my babe about communicating, things that we talked about before we even got married, y'all. Like, we had these very intense conversations to know, well, how would we respond in this situation, in that situation? And of course, some things do come up, but y'all, we really we talked about a lot.
We did. We definitely did. Yeah. So and we thank you guys for tuning in again to our podcast. And just be sure again to drop your email. We got some really cool videos and content and recipe videos, and I'm trying to coax my babe into doing a head wrap video. Many people have asked about that. So you want to make sure that you're subscribed to our YouTube channel with the notification bell hit. And as always, connect with us on Instagram. Just wanted to do that check-in as we're kind of wrapping up.
So our last point.
Yeah, so our last point, guys, is where we want to be in the future. And for me personally, we are really trying to sow seed into good ground. We're trying to, build, our family, empire as a married couple. Yes. We don't do, separate bank accounts or anything like that. We keep all our money together. And I feel like having that money together really will allow us to do some incredible things. So that's, where we are with things is we're in building mode. And we love the jobs that we have, but our ultimate goal is, having something that we can pass down to live. Yes. So that when she's married, she doesn't deal with any of the things that we dealt with. And where we want to be as an older couple, I mean, we're vegan, so we believe we're going to look like this, exactly what you're seeing on camera until at least 70.
Yeah, definitely, for sure.
At least 70. So I know your skin don't look just like this until that age.
Yours too, baby.
Thank you. But no, seriously, but we're taking care of ourselves, and that's, we made a conscious decision to live a healthier life when we brought Liv into this world. And, we're not fitness buffs, and we're not, any super duper vegan, all these other acronyms that go with being vegan. But we've incorporated a plant-based lifestyle into our life to make sure that our temple is right as it can be. And we've been seeing some great progress in there.
Amen.
Our spiritual walk, we're tithe payers. We consistently pay tithe, even when we were on food stamps.
Yeah.
We was always paying tithe. So we want to strengthen our walk spiritually. We don't talk to God as much as we should.
Yes.
But we're cognizant that we got to do better, getting in our word.
Definitely.
Things of that nature. Anything you'd like to add? I don't want to steal any of your thunder if you were going to say one of the things I'm about to say.
Hush. I just wanted to add that we just want to continue to enjoy life. One of my lines is enjoying the goodness of God.
Yes.
And what that means is just enjoying life. Like he made this world for us to enjoy it, to sow into other people, to share, to be givers, to be lovers. Yeah. And we just want to continue to do that. Y'all know we love to travel. Yeah. So I just want to be traveling constantly, just everywhere, anywhere. Yeah. Small trip, big trip, road trip, plane trip.
Yeah, just
cruise,
enjoying each other.
Just enjoying life and, just continuing to be in love, as in love as we are, and just for our love to increase.
I look forward to Liv being off in college and walking bucket naked around the house.
We have talked about that a lot,
just picking, I'm going to get you on this couch right here, this front door, this staircase.
Yo, because we used to, before.
Get it in.
Yeah, and we still do, but we're not able to be as flexible around the house like we used to.
But, we take yoga, we do yoga. We're vegan saying.
What does that have to do with me saying being flexible? I'm talking about being
to be flexible
No,
both literally and physically. That's
I'm talking about being able to go any room like we
that too.
Used
of course.
Y'all know, some of y'all know what
family. This is a grown family.
Grown channel. People watch us. Some of y'all know what we're talking about. Like we used to like everywhere in the house.
Yeah.
But now that we have our little one.
Yeah, it's just one place now.
Has it just been one?
Yeah, it's just one place. No, there's been a couple rooms in this house. Yeah. Let's just say when we have guests, we're gonna have to, we're gonna have to bless some rooms. We can put some incense and burn some sage or something in one of these rooms. Before we have guests over and stuff like that. You know how
we are silly,
shampoo
y'all.
the carpet.
Oh my goodness, y'all know we could not talk like this as Liv. So Liv be like la 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 la, like she doesn't like to see us kiss, hold hands.
I was the same way. Libby got that from me because I was the same way with my mother and my father. I would never like to see them doing affection.
Affection, yes. So we literally, it's been a little ride with that. We like Libby. We've always been. You know how some couples don't hold hands. Like we always have been that couple that always hold hands.
She's recently done that now. She used to let us hold hands.
She used to let us, but now she has to be in the middle. And like if I grab Daddy's hand right here, and then like I try to get her hand, she's like, nope. She comes to the middle every time.
Very, very true.
Yeah.
Very, very true.
So
Well, we have enjoyed this podcast, guys. We were like, what are we going to talk about this week? But we just communicate, and we're like, what we think this story of, how we came to be, the Marvin, Amber, and Al Liberty show. And like I said, we just believe in having fun, never stop laughing. I think when, people, some of the, when marriages don't work out, we believe it's because there may have been a breakdown in communication. Yeah. Certain expectations were not set from the onset, and either one or both parties were not willing to be flexible. And those are the things that we wanted to tackle at the front end. Yeah. That way, when we actually get married, we're just on cruise control. And that's the way we operate. And we have disagreements, and many people don't believe that we argue.
They don't. People have always been like, you guys do not, like people, the close people to us, it'll be like, you guys do not argue. But we don't really argue now at all.
No, we just.
But we obviously have argued before, but
we have disagreements.
We have disagreements. Yeah. We don't really argue. We might disagree on something, but.
Well, Liberty is good. If she sees that we're having a disagreement that's getting a little rowdy, she'll kind of check us. And so,
she will.
When we're in our right mind, a few seconds after she checks us, then we're like, okay, let's just, stop talking. But, we're not seeking perfection, and we're not putting it out there like, anybody has to be in a perfect marriage. Like I said, you do what works for you as long as you're doing it under God.
Amen.
That's the way we approach it. We have people, we've heard people say, well, you define what you want your marriage to be, blah, blah, blah. That's fine. But if you're not caveating that statement by saying under God, like it go down under God with us. It go down. You know what I'm saying? But, we don't entertain any other kind of foolishness into what we got going on and try to redefine what
marriage is. Because God created marriage, and He created it for a man and a woman.
So that's the way we operate. And 17 years. So I'm gonna pat us on the back. 17 years.
To God be the glory. So, and 17 years of course we've had trials and things, y'all, but 17 years of just literally respect, love, communication, fun, joy. Like I said, we've had challenges here and there throughout the year, even the journey to having liberty, which I can't wait to talk about that one day. But, so we've had challenges, but just not anything that we couldn't get through with the help of God, and not anything crazy that we're allowing ourselves to go through that, we shouldn't be allowing ourselves to go through.
Yeah, no, and we brought in some, I mentioned earlier, traumas from the perception of marriage and the households that we came from, and those things that we observed as kids growing up. And we made the conscious decision, based on what we saw going on in the world in general, that we wanted our story to be different.
Yes.
We wanted Liberty to be that child that says, my parents have been together 50 years or whatever. We already at 17, so there ain't another 20-something years. I don't know the math,
Yeah.
but whatever 50 minus 17 is. So we ain't got that far to go.
Yeah.
And so, we genuinely genuinely have fun, and
We do.
We make sure that we are protecting our marriage. That's the main thing that I always just said from the beginning, is that we got to protect this thing, because it's a war going on outside. No man is safe from. That's a rap lyric, but
okay.
That's
Babe,
what
always bringing some rap into something.
I'm a hip hop head, so. All right, guys. Well, we, again, want to thank you for taking the time out of your busy day to listen to us. If you are heading into work, heading home from work, or watching us on YouTube, we want to give you the friendly reminder to stay connected with us. Find us again on Instagram at @the_family_O. Find us on Facebook at @TheRealFamilyO. And, of course, on YouTube, subscribe to us here. Anything else you want to add?
No, I just love you so much.
Sweetie.
I really do.
Thank you.
I know, and I really enjoyed this podcast. This has been one of my favorites so far.
Oh, wonderful.
Because I love when we go down memory lane.
Well, let's wrap this thing up so we can get to work. Okay? All right. Okay.
I'm going to get you.
No, but I love you, sweetie. I mean, you're my best friend.
You're my best friend.
Thank you.
Literally, y'all, we are best friends.
She is.
I never knew that, like, my husband would be my best friend. You usually have, like, a friend that's a girl or a guy,
Yeah.
And we do have friends,
Yeah, I got
but,
my own boys.
and all that. But we're, like, this is the first person I will go to before anybody, outside of God.
Same here.
Yeah.
It's the way it should be. I mean, the world has kind of twisted things and made it like you have to go other places, but nobody can fix the two of us. You know what I'm saying? It has to be us that does the work, as Alan Manzant would say. You got to do the work.
Do the work. That's right.
You have people that you can go to this place, go to that place, where you're like, look, it has to be us. And just a quick sidebar before we let you guys go. We did not get marriage counseling before we got married.
Yeah, but this is a crazy thing. So we were at our church in Houston, Lakewood, and I felt like, we kind of had like marriage counseling that way in a sense, because remember we kept like
one of the classes.
No, that was that anger class we took. Y'all, that's a long story. But anyway, no, I'm saying just from going to church and hearing the word of God, and they would have series sometimes talking about marriage and about forgiveness and about all sorts of stuff. So I'm saying we kind of indirectly did marriage counseling, but we did not do the normal marriage counseling, because the way we got married was like so quick and everything. It was very different. But we had been investing in ourselves, how can I say it, for so long that, it's like we it's almost like we did it. But we did not officially go to marriage counseling. That's true.
Yeah.
So, but we're not saying that you shouldn't go. We're just saying that, we were really planted in a really good church that just really helped us to kind of navigate before we even got married.
We got the counseling through the sermons that we were hearing on a regular basis.
And Bible study as well. We was going.
So that was just something. But, if you have the ability to get marriage counseling, that would be great. But just staying in the Word, staying in the Word with each other, I think is going to be the best thing that you can do, in communicating and being willing to say you're wrong and own up to that and say you're sorry, make things right, and have some sex and be all right. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's really, where it needs to go.
That's it. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah. So, all right, guys. Well, we appreciate you rocking with us. And until the next podcast, this is Marvin.
Amber.
And Liberty's here with us. And we're
with the family.
All right,
Bye.
guys. Peace.